Om. 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 Sairam, everyone. Just to recapitulate last week's discussion, the discussion was about what happens when we pass away. Those who go to the Surya Loka and those who go to the Chandra Loka. The Uttarayana Kala versus Dakshinayana. So those were the discussions last week. So I think we'll continue from where we left off. Sairam, sister, please go ahead and read.
Sairam. Since the Uttarayana Marga is lit by the holy splendor of Jnana, it is praised as the Sukla Marga or the white path. The Dakshinayana Marga is dark, filled with tamas and Ajnana. So it is called the dark path or the Krishna Marga. Those who discard the body and move along the white path and reach the stage of liberation or moksha, which is devoid of delusion, which is the seat and source of Brahmananda, from which there is no return to this world of name and form. This is the arena of embodied beings. Those who leave the body during the Dakshinayana and move along the dark path have to bear again this physical encasement called Dega, body, subject to birth and death. Uttarayana is not so much a period of time, it is a state of mind. Those who discard the body with the glory of self-knowledge move along the Uttarayana Marga, and those who die in ignorance of their Atmic reality move along the Pitrayana or Dakshinayana or the dark path. Of the gunas, Sattva guna is pure and effulgent. The Tamo guna is dark, and so they are distinguished by the opposite colors of white and black. Again, there are two nadis, Ida and Pingala. By name, subtle nerves, Ida to the left and the Pingala to the right of the Sushumna. The Ida Nadi Marga is the lunar path, and the Pingala Nadi Marga is the solar path. The yogis proceed along the solar and the others along the lunar path. This is another of the unobserved mysteries.
Sorry, thank you very much, sister. So I think we were discussing this as Swami has now introduced a slightly different interpretation of the Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. Swami has talked about Sattva Guna as the one pure one, and Tamo Guna at the opposite end as the darker one, the dark path we take. So I will stop here. If anyone would like to comment or have any questions, we can discuss. Saira.
Are we able to do the translation, Uncle? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute, Doug.
Yeah, we can do the translations. 1 second. Give me a minute. I don't know. My laptop was giving me problems. So.
Oh.
So I'll just read. Maybe I have to. Mani Auntie is not there, I guess. No, is she there?
No.
Yeah. It's okay then. I will have to read and I will try my best. I hope I do it an okay job. Okay, I will read. Uttarayana margamu పవిత్రమైన జ్ఞాన ప్రకాశముతచే దానిని శుక్ల మార్గమనియు దక్షిణాయన మార్గమనియు తమోమయమై జ్ఞాన ప్రకాశము కాక అంధకారమయమైనదగుట చేత దానిని కృష్ణ మార్గమనియు చెప్పబడినది. So Swami is saying the Uttarayana Marga is a pure one where there's an effulgence of jnana. Because of that, it is called Shukla Marga, the white path. Okay, the south Dakshinayana Margam, which is the southward path, is dark. It's full of darkness, tamomaya. So it's filled with tamoguna, and it does not have the effulgence of jnana. And because of that, it is dark. That is why it is called Krishna Marga, which is basically dark path. That is how these are called. Cheppabadinavi. Okay. Modati margamaina shukla margamuna payanamu chesina varu anaga sariramu vadali vallina varu జ్ఞాన మరణము లేక అనగా జనన మరణము లేక అనగా తిరిగి దేహములు ధరించక బ్రహ్మానంద నిలయమైన మోహరహితమైన స్థానమగు మోక్షమును పొందగలరనియు. That is those who have the first path of the white path or the Shukla Marga, whoever has taken a journey on that, that is, they have given up the body and they have left the body and they are moving on. They will not have birth and death, and they will go to the place which is filled with Brahmananda, the bliss of Brahman, and there is no moha, that is no delusion. That kind of state, that which is a liberation, they would have achieved. Okay. Rendava margamaina Krishna margamuna ప్రయాణమైన వారికి దేహమును విడిన వారికి తిరిగి జనన మరణ కారణమగు దేహము ప్రాప్తించుననియు తెలుసుకొనవలెను. So those who have taken the dark path, which is the second one, for them there will be birth and death, and they will obtain another body. That should be understood. జ్ఞానమైన స్వబోధమగు ప్రకాశముతో దేహమును విడిచిన వారు ఉత్తరాయణ మార్గ ప్రయాణీకులనియు ఆత్మజ్ఞానము లేక మూఢత్వముగా దేహమును విడిచిన వారు పితృయాన మార్గమున వెళ్ళిన వారనియు తెలియదగును. Swami says the jnana, which is the knowledge of one's own self, with that effulgence, whoever leaves the body, they are the passengers or people who have taken up the journey of the northward path, which is Uttarayana Marga. And those who do not have the knowledge of the Atman and ignorant, foolish or ignorant, they in such a state, if anyone leaves the body, they will take the path of the Pitru, the path traveled by the Pitrus. That is how it is known. Okay. Sattva gunamunu nirmalamai prakashamaina diganu tamo gunamu andhakaramunu Krishna varnamunu కూడినదనియు తలంచవలను. Swami says the Sattva Guna, which is blemishless, and which is effulgent, should be known as something which is effulgent. And the tamoguna, the tamas, the quality of tamas or darkness, that is darkness itself, and that is of the color of black. That should be understood, or that should be considered that way. Okay. Mariyunu ida pingala anu rendu nadulu kalavu. There are two nerve tracts called ida and pingala. Kudi prakkanunda nundunadi pingala aniyu. Edama prakkana Kudi prakkana mundunadi pingala aniyum. Edama prakkana nundudanini ida nadi aniyu. That's Swami is saying of the one of these two nadis of ida pingala, the one which is on the right side is called ida. Sorry. The pingala is on the right. Sorry. Pingala, see, auntie has come.
Sir, no, it's Vasudha here. I know
Sorry.
very little Telugu, but Kudi is right side,
Right.
Edamu is left. Sorry.
Yeah. So Kudi prakkana. So the pingala is the one which is on the right side, on the Kudi prakka, and Idama prakkana's left side is ida. That's the way they are called. Yogi aina mahanubhavulu tama yoga shaktito surya margamaina pingala nadi margamanu velluduru. So the great personalities who are yogis, they with their yoga, power of yoga, they travel on the path of Surya, that's sun, and which is the nadi of Pingala, which is on the right side. They travel through that path. Yoga Shakti Leka Samanya Sthiti Galavaru Chandra Marga Manabadu Idanadi Margamuna Velluduru. So people who are not possessing the power of yoga, who are ordinary of ordinary stature, they will follow the lunar path, which is the nerve track of Ida, and they will travel through that. Idiyunu Marokka Antarardhamu. This is another inner significance. Saira. So Swami has introduced the Ida Pingala Nadis because in our body, I think Swami has not mentioned Sushumna, but that has been mentioned in the translation. So there is, in the center of, there is Sushumna, which travels, and on the right side there is Pingala, and on the left side there is Ida. But in the translation they have given, mentioned Sushumna, though Swami has not mentioned it.
Where are they located?
Pardon?
Where are the Ida Pingala, where are they supposed to be located?
So in the spinal column, or aligned with that, there is a nerve energy path, which is called Sushumna. It's believed that it is in the middle of the spinal column. Okay, and on either side of that column, which is Sushumna, there are two nerve tracts called Ida and Pingala. Pingala is what is on the right side, and Ida is what is on the left side. Though it's on the left side, they actually twirl around the Sushumna. And so one is, I think in science also we talk about left brain, right brain, and so on, which is basically, there are two energy paths in the body. So these two signify that all three strands of nerve tracts are considered to be within the spinal column.
Saramana.
Yes, Sai Ram, Sai Satish.
Yeah, just adding to what you were saying. So we have Sushumna in the center, and we have Ida on the left and Pingala on the right. And as they cross one another, where the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna meet, it is said that each of the chakras, 7 chakras, come up at the meeting point of the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. So all the way from Muladhara, all the way upwards till Sahasrara, where they meet at the meeting point of the three, you have the chakras coming. Just adding to the perspective of where they are and how they, but it's all in the subtle form. It's like you may not put a microscope or some other thing there and then start seeing that, but it's in a subtle way.
Yes, thank you.
Sairam, brother. If you
Yes,
don't
yes.
mind, shall we go paragraph by paragraph, please, on this one?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah. This, Krishna Paksha was mentioned as a dark side, right? So Krishna color was taken to describe on the dark side, or
The word Krishna in Sanskrit means black. Krishna was called Krishna because he was dark in color.
okay.
That's okay. So if we can focus on the first paragraph, which is Uttarayana Marga, so Swami is saying that it is jnana is present, which is actually knowledge, which is capable of. Swami also uses the word jnana chakshu. That means the eyes of wisdom also is something which is mentioned. Anyone, any other thoughts? Anyone else would like to? So I think from the physical aspects of Uttarayana, Sukla Paksha, daytime and so on, Swami has taken us to the inner concepts, principles which are also operating in spite of the external circumstances.
the hand? Maha raised the hand there.
Somebody raised the hand?
Sairam, brother.
Yes.
I have a question in here. The Uttarayana, that period, if anybody died, so, we can check the calendar or the Panchangam and we can decide that person is not going to come back. Is that right? Or the other way around? Even the
Sister, I think, it's, we will never know who comes back and who doesn't come back. But I think it's for each of us to understand how we should die. I think that's all matters. And the reality is we may not be able to even choose the time when we die. But I think Swami says we should reach that state of understand Atman, that we are the Atman. And I think that's all we can say. About others, based on what Swami has said, it looks as if even though they may have passed away during the daytime, during the Sukla Paksha, the bright fortnight, and Uttarayana, if they are lacking the Sattva Guna and the light of Jnanam, they have not really traveled the path of the sun, the solar path, is my understanding.
Thank you. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, brother, in the second passage, Swami even immediately indicated that Uttarayana is not so much of a period of time, it's a state of mind. And Swami further explains in that one. That's why if someone died in that Uttarayana period, it doesn't mean that they would get into, but all it's about the state of mind and how we live our life in this world. That will make the difference where we go. And, thank you, Saira.
Thank you, sister. Anyone else? Any other thoughts? Anyone wants to discuss the first paragraph? If not, we will go to the second paragraph. So I think which is what just yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I am, brother. Yeah, according to the dark mean, the person under ignorant or the knowledge or wisdom is not there, he is in the dark. The person who realize self-realization is in the bright. So that person who realize himself will go through the Surya path, and others will go through the Chandra path. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you.
So the
Yes.
period and the things is a gross form and then the subtle way of saying, right? That's how Swami is now explaining, right? First he talked about the period of time, then he's now bringing to the what kind of state of mind you have to be in. So that is tells you the subtle way of. So subtle is the important than the period of time, kind of.
Yes, sister.
The Vasudha raised her hand.
Okay, please, Sister Vasudha.
Hi, Ram. I don't know the context in which Swami said this, but maybe he was talking about Dakshinayana and Uttarayana. Maybe it was Sankranti, or actually there are two Sankrantis that are important in Andhra. One is in like January 14th, Makar Sankranti, and then there is a Karka Sankranti around July 16th. So what happens, just like even in the Western things, those signs change, like it goes into the Cancer, like it goes from, I can't remember what January is, but then it goes into like Rashi and all that, So I know that in Andhra, they don't try to do weddings in the Dakshinayana. It's not considered to be as auspicious a time as Uttarayana. It's supposed to also be like from the movement of the sun around the equator and the North Pole, South Pole. It's like between the summer solstice and the winter solstice. So it's considered to be like the rest period in heaven or for the celestial gods. However, this is just an arbitrary, assignment of time with regards to the planets and everything else. But I think Swami wants us to always be in the Uttarayana path, regardless of what season we are going to, whether it's Cancer, Capricorn, whatever we are going through. It's just he's using those words, the semantics, to portray that, like Brother Tasan said, when you have knowledge, you're on the bright side, and when you are in ignorance, you're on the dark side. Thank you.
Yes, sister. Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else would like to share anything? Somebody else raised the hand or not? If everyone is okay, maybe we will read that. Maybe, you know, there will be more points, I think, because Swami just introduced these concepts. So I think it may be good to read for.
Okay, sorry, Uncle. I just thought we were just for the other paragraphs. I just had a question.
Yes.
So for the, you know how Swami's saying those who with knowledge of one's own self, they take the journey of Uttarayana.
Yes.
And he was saying that they attain liberation and they achieve Brahmananda. So I'm just trying to again distinguish between, like, because we also said before how if you're a Jivan Mukta, you already have that knowledge of the self, then you don't need to take any journey. Like, it's just you would achieve, you know, you'd be one with Brahman the moment you die. But here Swami's also saying that you're kind of, you do reach Brahman, but you do, I'm just trying, is this different? Because going back to the 4 types of karma, Swami's, there was a karma atita, then the nishkama karma. So, and then I think the sat karma, and then the karma prashta. So I think we said that the sat karma people are the people taking like the dakshinayana path, and the nishkama karma are the ones taking the uttarayana path, and the karma atitas, they are the jivan muktas who don't take any journey.
Yeah. So I think so you're asking of the 4 categories which Swami mentioned, which category goes where is your question, am I right?
Yes, because even in this Uttarayana path, it seems very similar to like the Jivan Mukta almost, because Swami's saying that they do reach liberation, they have knowledge of the self already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the people who are the karma titas, naturally they will go on the Uttarayana path, or I think they've already reached the Brahma state. You know, I think that's what I understand. Because Swami says wherever they put their step, it is already Kaivalya. So that means they've already reached that state of Brahmananda, even though they are alive in this world. Is the way I understand. And the people who are of the Nishkama, karma people, they have already given up, and they may be going to Surya Loka, and then onward to Brahma Loka, or merger with Brahman, is the way I understand. Then the people who do the right actions, Satkarma, they but they are kamya, they do perform actions with certain, which are prescribed in the Vedas, but with some desires of the world. They seem to be going to the Chandra Marga, from what I understand. And they will come back according to, where, if they are meant to come back. That's the sense I get. And of course, the karma brashtas, they don't have any place to go to. They are born again and again, is my understanding, Kalyani. I hope.
Yeah, so the Nishkama karma people, they go on the path of Uttarayana. When they die, they go to this Surya Loka. And are they born again? Because Swami is saying that they have no birth and death. Like they have
from Surya, once you go to Surya Loka, you are not meant to be born again, from what I understand.
Oh, okay.
Okay, only the people who go to Pitru Loka or the Chandra Loka, they have a birth, depending on, but they have to go to Swarga or, Naraka or something like that, is my understanding.
Okay.
The last sentence also states that yogis proceed with the solar and others goes with the lunar path.
Yes.
Anna, I was just going to say that actually when we say the solar or the lunar, I think it finally comes down to the mind. So because the mind symbolizing the moon, so whoever has the mind in place, they have to come back. But who go beyond the mind, which is again solar representing the Atman and lunar representing the mind. So if we are established in the Atman, automatically we are on the solar path, which means we go there and there is no birth. But in the case of when we do satkarmas and with expectations. Obviously, the expectation means the mind exists, and if the mind exists, then birth happens. So that is where the shuttling process still continues.
Yes. Thank you very much, Sai Satish.
When it says they will take the path traveled by the Pitrus, it just means like the path traveled by all their ancestors.
What did you say?
When it says the path traveled by the Pitrus,
Yeah, the Pitru Loka is basically Chandra Loka.
that's where all your is it supposed to be like where your ancestors are or something like that? Like,
Yeah, they are the ancestors, yes. If the ancestors are, not karma brashtas.
okay.
Okay, so that's the sense I get. But I think everyone may go to Pitru Loka, and I think it's a triage center. That's okay. For all the people who are not going to the sun, Surya Loka. So means everyone is meant to go to Pitru Loka as soon as they die, and from there their onward journey happens, and generally they come back to Earth unless they have a brief stop in the Swarga. That's what the Purana state. Anyone who has read the Garuda Purana can elaborate further.
And so why is this related to the like Nadi and the Ida and Pingala? Like
So the belief is that's the science in yogic science is that the one who travels through when we die, if we have not, the yogis who are like the karmatithas, apparently their soul will leave through the sushumna. Okay, that's the center. So there they don't have the duality, sense of duality, and their Atman, supposed to leave through the top of the head, Sahasrara. But everyone else will either travel through the Ida or Pingala. And the Pingala signifies the solar energy, and the Ida signifies the lunar energy. So so even I think in the yogic parlance, even our own energy, the Kundalini, which is present in the Mooladhara, base chakra, will operate either on the Ida side or Pingala side, predominantly for people with certain proclivities. And so that is the channel normally the energy will travel through. And so when we die also, our Atman also will travel through the same path. To some extent, they signify what sort of a life we are leading and how we will end our life. I think maybe Swami will speak further later on, is my wish, but we'll see.
Brother, Swami has said already, this is an unobserved mysteries. Okay, so
Swami has not said that, sister, in the Telugu.
Oh,
Swami is using the word antarardham. Antarardham means inner significance.
So inner significance you cannot say. It's only they can experience it, right? Yes. So this Ida, Pingala, Nadi and all, just Swami's explaining things, right? But obviously, if it's an inner thing, then you can experience only. You cannot say this person will go on right and left or susma kind of thing like that.
No, there, means it's Sairam, auntie has come, money auntie. Sairam auntie, Sairam. Sister, there are certain the people observe your breathing style, and with that they can say which nadi is functioning. So there are things like that which are present. For example, that's why before any puja, there's a pranayama associated with it. You take the breath through the left nostril, leave through the right nostril, and things like that. And that is supposed to open up a certain nadis to function. And so these are actually integral parts of prayer in Sanatana Dharma, which through what's called pranayama, you can actually start activating certain nadis. Okay, so sorry.
And the Swami said pranayama, you are not supposed to practice, like you can know that, but you are not like a practice like that without knowing how to do things, kind of.
No, what Swami has said, sister, is you need to have a qualified guru to teach.
Yes, that's the thing.
Okay, so that's the reality.
So we can practice.
No, but no, Swami is just wants us to understand these concepts.
Yes, that's what I can understand. Okay, good. Thanks.
Because the knowledge is also jnana.
Otherwise,
we are in the darkness. See, knowledge is, we need to understand this. Otherwise, we are blind and we are in darkness. That's why Swami is teaching, but Swami is teaching and introducing concepts for people to understand. But we don't need to dwell so much on it. But Swami wants us to be aware of it, because that may be needed for us to, in different situations in our lives. It may be needed, that knowledge will be needed. Because after all, they also look after that is the only way you can look after your physical and mental health. All this is impacted by some of this. So, if we are looking after our nutrition and our health of the body, you have to look at the health of the pranamaya kosha. So there is a body which we use, which is called pranamaya kosha, and all these principles come into, actually they're already active. We don't even know. So just the way we want to eat the best food, good food at the right time, and the pranamaya kosha also has to be looked after. But what Swami warns against is us taking up very rigorous pranayama practices, thinking that is going to accelerate our spiritual growth. And so some people achieve siddhis through that and all that. Swami discourages us from that. But general understanding of breath management is something which Swami has talked about.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether you see people raising hand. Now I see Sakwanti has raised her hand.
Okay, I cannot see people raising hand. I think somebody has to point out.
Sai Ram. I have a question. Karmaditas yogis and their soul will lead through the Siras, the center of the Siras. But what happens to the souls that go along the Pingala, which opening that they will take? As per yoga.
Sairamanti, I am not knowledgeable. I will ask anyone else who can shed some light on this.
Sairam, this is Maha.
Yes.
My understanding is when we close our right nostrils, when we breathe from our left, so sometime one side will open, the other side will be blocked. So when we do the pranayama, if the right side open, so that means it's Pingala, belongs to Suryan. If the left side was open, it's dark side. So you will feel a little bit laziness if the this side is open. So if the right side, which is belong to Suryan, so it will fully open. So that means that day you will be more active. So in order to balance both sides, maybe my understanding that is the reason they want both of them to be active. They are doing the pranayama before they do the any puja. Is that right?
Sairam sister, I think it's something similar, but I will defer to anyone else who knows. Sairam.
So Uncle, the Ida and the Pingala, they're in the Pranamaya Kosha?
Yes. These are all energies, circulations, yes, systems.
And
They are
then-
three main energy arteries, I would say.
Like I saw a discourse where Swami was referring to them and he was pointing to his nostrils. So is there like a relationship with the nostrils and
Yes. See, Swami, I think Swami talks about all the three of them coming together in the Agnya Chakra, which is the point between the eyes. That's where generally all yogis meditate on. That's that way we bring all three nadis to be in balance. So that is part of the meditation process. Anyone who advances through meditation, they will be able to control all three channels of energy flow, and they'll be able to center it, and using that they will be able to meditate on the Lord for longer periods of time. Actually, just to go back, I don't know whether you all remember, Swami is talking about when someone who chants Om, Swami is talking about the prana is brought in the head region, and it is deposited there or something like that. Swami mentions before also. So the ability to collect the energy fields in the body and center it at the Agnya Chakra will help the soul travel through Sahasrara, is my understanding. It comes over long periods of time of practice under a proper guru. But what Swami assures us is if we follow all his instructions meticulously and do the sadhana which he has prescribed, with his help, we will also be able to achieve similar results. This is my understanding. So Swami has prescribed the most trouble-free, problem-free, less dangerous path to us, which is the path of devotion. And the prescribed practices which Swami has given, if we practice, we will also be able to attain similar states as what an advanced yogi would through Swami's grace. This is my understanding. I will stop here and I will ask anyone else who would like to share their thoughts or Sai.
Brother. Here, I'd like to add some points here. Yogis, in order to get the self-realization, you can be a jnana yogi, you can be a karma yogi, you can be a bhakti yogi. On three ways, you can achieve the goal. So that's what I can see here. The yogi commander, and sometimes the people might think yogi means that we are doing the yoga exercise. No, how you can merge with the God. That's what he is talking about. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Sairam. Yeah. So what Sister Kalyani was raising was, I think, one of the video clips where Swami's singing Mirabai's song. He says, Chalo re man Ganga Yamuna Tir. So that time Swami points to the eyes, actually, sisters. What Swami is saying is the tears that come from Ganga Jamuna, meaning the eyes. But ultimately what Swami is referring to is what Anna was saying, the Bhrumadhya Sthanam, which is the center of the brow, where the Ida, Pingala and Sushumna again meet there, which is the Agneya Chakra, which is the seat of the mind. So Swami was, I think, telling in the context of devotion also, where you can, what Brother Dasan also was saying, you can use karma, bhakti or jnana marga. But in the context of bhakti marga, through those tears that are flowing for the Lord, Ganga and Jamuna, that also can be used to direct the mind or take the look at the seat of the mind, which is the Bhru Madhyanam, which is the center of the Bhru. And that is the one aspect. The second thing, again, with regard to the Omkara, it is like as we are chanting the U and the Makara of the Omkara, it is again activating all of the chakras, but starting with for the Muladhara, U again will be for Vishuddhi, and for finally it's coming at the Sahasraram, which again energizes the pranic flow, whether it goes through the Ida or Pingala. More, we are trying to channelize it more in such a way, whether it based on our actions as well, that it goes to Pingala, but as much as possible, the whole thing travels along Sushumna. Because even if we see from scientific parlance, in the animals, we see that the evolution, as much as we say Homo sapiens became Homo sapiens because of the spinal column, because when we learned how to stand erect, that is when energy flow started happening vertically upwards. Till then, in all animals, energy would always flow only horizontally, because animals, like as we see, it's going on 4 legs. So there is no travel of like the pranic energy and all of, or we say even the Kundalini Shakti happening all the way from Muladhara to Sahasrara. It is only when the spinal column came and literally human beings could stand erect, that is when, even not only at the gross level, which helped develop the body and the brain, but it also helped tap the functions of the mind and also the spiritual realm of all of that. So just adding to that.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share anything?
Sister Vasudha has her hand up.
Sairam, Brother Sai Satish alluded to the evolutionary concept, and I understand that, but there's also in the animal kingdom, there are certain animals who had divine energy and divine powers. For example, the bull Nandi, which is Vahana for Lord Shiva. It's a 4-legged creature. There's, of course, the famous Hanuman, who was like the monkey god, and you can argue monkeys do kind of stand up in a certain way. They're 2-legged. So my question is if energy were to be only in such manifested forms which were standing up erect, is there not such spiritual energy in other forms of animal life or plant life? How do we reconcile that? Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thanks for the question. Sairam, Sai Satish, would you?
Yeah, sure, Anna. So divinity is in everyone. That is unquestioned, because when the separation from the Paramatman happened, he has put himself in each and every one of us, whether it is plant kingdom, animal kingdom, or the humankind itself. All of us, the divinity aspect is always there. It is about how the journey of now that whether we have become a plant or an animal or the human being, how we go back to realizing that we are divine, that capacity, of course, is given to the humankind. That is why we say human birth is the rarest of the all births. We say Jantunam Narajanmadurlaman. That is surely because of our, even as we look up in the sense we are seeing what is the journey that we can take to realize the divinity within us. So while the divinity is latent within us, the manifestation of the divinity is possible in the humankind. And sister, when you're talking about Nandi or Hanuman or Jambavan or Garuda or all of those, it is only when their association comes with divinity does the animal tendencies go away. So in that aspect, we can also get into how only they got blessed to have that kind of a thing that has a time point of the past, present, and future aspects that I will not go into. But anything associated with divinity automatically, even if it is, of course, we know the story of Ahalya, but you can go to the level of even the touch of God can turn a stone into a higher being. So whenever divinity comes and is associated with anything that is plant or even inanimate or animal, it gets transmuted to being divine. So that is the difference, where the touch helps the latent divinity to get manifested. So I'm talking in terms of, in general thing, that our physical evolution also has which is happening at the gross level, has a subtle evolution that is happening in the background, which also has all of this connected. Right.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
So is the Pingala more beneficial? Is it like a more beneficial spiritual energy?
Yes, Kalyani. Pingala is supposed to be able to channel the solar energy into ourselves, whereas Ida is actually channels the lunar energy. Solar energy is conducive for spiritual progress, whereas lunar energy will be conducive for worldly success. So that's my understanding. So our creativity in the world will be much higher with the Ida Nadi. So from a spiritual parlance, Pingala, which is generally underutilized in human beings, needs to be enhanced. And then that's considered beneficial for spiritual activities.
But I guess is the Ida also needed? So because I think you were mentioning how all three have to come together or something like that.
As long as we are alive in this world, Ida has to function well for us to be, be able to live healthily and reasonably in a balanced way in this world. That's my understanding. Anyone else would like to comment?
Sorry, Ramana, just adding, like, because the energy flow, the prana flow through the Ida Nadi, as it's called, the lunar path. So in terms of as the energy flows, it helps the functions relate to the mind and the outward path kind of thing. While the Pingala is, of course, again the pranic energy as it travels through that nadi is channelized more on the solar, which is again to the atmic realm or in the inner path. So, like Anna was saying, to live and function in the world, you will need the Ida because of the basic sustenance. But at the same time, we will have to see how much of that is also used to go inward. So that is where I think the functions of both are needed. One for external sustenance and another is for the inward journey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Any other thoughts? Anyone else would like to share anything? Or have a question? I think a few things may become more clearer, I think, when we move further and onward. Unless someone has a question, we can always come back if something is bothering. Okay, Sairam, Dharmada, you can read.
The end of everything that is born is death. Samyoga leads to viyoga. Construction must result in the destruction of that which is constructed. It is a law of of nature that birth ends in death and death leads to birth. The stage which knows no coming and going is the stage when the universal Brahman is visualized. For since Brahman is all pervasive, where is the other place from the which the coming can be effected and to which the going can be performed? There is no need to doubt whether such a stage is within the reach of all, whether all can achieve this victory, nor is any special effort or peculiar good fortune or a specially designed act necessary. It is enough if the mind is always fixed on Paramatma, if the Lord is meditated upon without break. That will cleanse the mind, the delusion clogging, it will disappear. This by itself comprises moksha. For what is moksha but moha shaya, the decline of delusion? A person who has achieved this moha shaya will attain Brahmatva, the stage of Brahman, whosoever he might die. Such a person is called a jnani.
Thank you very much, sister. So I think quite Swami is again introducing quite a bit of theory, I guess. We can just focus on the first paragraph, if okay, and unless maybe we can do the Telugu. I think Auntie Fanti is available.
Yeah, Sairam. సంయోగమునకు వియోగమే అంత్యము.
For coming together, separation is the end.
పుట్టినవాడు గిట్టుటయు గిట్టినవాడు పుట్టుటయు ఇవి ప్రకృతి యొక్క నియమములు.
The one who is born has to die, the one who is dead has to be born. This is the natural law.
పుట్టి గిట్టిన అనగా రాకడ పోకడ లేని స్థితియే బ్రహ్మ సాక్షాత్కారం, జ్ఞానం అనబడును.
Not being born.
పుట్టి గిట్టిన అనగా రాకడ పోకడ, కమింగ్ అండ్ గోయింగ్.
Coming and going. స్థితియే బ్రహ్మ సాక్షాత్కార,
జ్ఞానం అనబడును.
అంటే
పుట్టి గిట్టిన అనగా రాకడ పోకడ లేని స్థితి.
లేని స్థితి.
స్థితి రాకడ పోకడ లేని స్థితి.
లేని స్థితి. Yeah, that's so that is being born or dying or not coming or not going. That state is the real state of Brahma, attaining the Brahman, and that is what relates to jnana, knowledge.
Brahmamu sarva vyapaka tattvamu.
Brahman is one who is present everywhere.
He pervades the whole.
Pervades the world. Okay.
So kanuka రాకపోకలకు వేరు స్థలం ఎక్కిడిది.
So because for such a person, because of that, where is the person to go, where to come?
ఇది అందరికీ సాధ్యమా?
Is it possible for everyone?
To get that Brahma Sakshatkara. Is it possible to get that Brahma Sakshatkara? ఇట్టి ప్రాప్తి అందరికీ చేకూరునా?
Such an attainment, will it be possible for everyone to reach?
అని సంశయించిన అక్కర్లేదు. No need for you to doubt about it.
Yes.
దీనికి ఏ శ్రమము, ఏ ప్రాప్తియు, ఏ యోగ కర్మయు చేయనక్కర్లేదు.
For this sake, you did not make any effort. You need not go and try to attain something, or you don't need to even do any yogic actions.
నిరంతరము నీ మనస్సును పరమాత్మ యందు లగ్నము చేసిన చాలు.
If you center your mind at all times on the Supreme Lord, that's sufficient.
అనగా నిరంతరము భగవంతుని ధ్యానించుచుండిన చాలును.
That means you have to continuously, without break, meditate on God. That's enough.
అట్టి నిరంతర ధ్యానమే మాలిన్యమైన మనసును నిర్మలము చేయును.
That kind of meditation without a break, or it always continuously, that will cleanse the mind which is polluted.
మనస్సు ఎప్పుడు నిర్మలం పొందునో,
whenever the mind attains purity or blemishlessness,
అప్పుడు మోహము నాశమగును.
at that point in time the delusion will be destroyed.
మోహనాశమే మోక్షము.
The destruction of delusion is moksha or liberation.
మోహక్షయమైన వాడు ఎట్టి మృత్యువు చేత దేహమును విడినను,
so a person who has completely destroyed the delusion, at whatever way he dies or leaves his body,
బ్రహ్మైక్యమును పొందును.
he will attain the state of union with Brahman.
అట్టి వానిని జ్ఞాని అందురు.
Such person is called jnani. So I think Swami would have put everyone's anxiety to rest, saying that you don't have to worry about this yoga, that yoga. Nothing is needed. Just meditate on the Lord at all times, and they'll be fine.
And
that
one
will
more,
be, yes, Auntie, please.
that attachment, mohakshayam, that delusion, when it is completely destroyed, then he attains that moksha or brahmatvam rather.
Here for mohakshayam, can we also take it as desireless state?
Yes. Yeah, because I think Sai Sathya is desire itself is a result of ahankara and mamakara. The I-ness and the my-ness are the cause for the desires. So until the root cause, I think ahamkara and mamakara destroyed, desire will somehow crop up because the seed is still present. Though complete cessation of desires will be possible only when ahankaram and mamakaram are completely given up. So I think
ahankaram and mamakaram result in that attachment to things with the desire.
I think in some other Vahini, I don't know whether it's this Vahini itself, Swami is talking about, these two, first somebody will get these two people, and we will, once we they give right. I think it's Sandeha Nivarani, if I remember correctly. Swami is talking about what leads to what, and how desires are born out of because of mamakara, and ahankara mamakara are born out of ignorance. Atman, things like that. And Swami takes step by step what results in desire, and he says vasanas will be there, and the vasanas, as soon as they see something, it will sprout, and all that. And Swami said we have to burn it so that the seed will not sprout again, or some such thing.
Roasted seeds.
Yes, roasted seeds. Yes.
Dagda bija. Dagda bijam.
Sai Satish, I thought you wanted to say something.
No, I just want to say thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna.
I'm just trying to understand, because at the beginning we started to learn when you say Om, that itself will take you to the moksha at the last minute, right? Correct. Then Swami talks about all these things, Kala, the Dakshinaya, all these things. At the end, he's now coming and telling us, just meditate on the Lord itself, will take you. So I'm trying to understand why Swami has said about all these things to bring to this end.
Very, very good question, sister. I think I'll open the discussion up.
Yeah. There are so many kinds of people with different mental makeup. Some want to do karma yoga, through karma yoga they want to reach, and some bhakti marga, some with gnana marga. So the whole choice is given to all such people to go through any marga, and then of course it all ends in namasmarana. Keep me in your meditation so that you reach that moksha. Swami says at the end. Why should Aruna's question is, why should we go through all these things?
So I think her question is, why did Swami mention all this?
Mention about this, yeah.
If at the end he's saying that you don't have to worry about this. I think that's the question. Yes, Brother Qasim has the answer, sister.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say.
So, Sairam, brother, once to understand what's the difference between the Niskama karma and the Sahaya karma, then you're going to get the proper answer. Niskama karma, you are not getting the fruit of the action. In that side, your desire is not there. So desire going to be zero, and eventually your mind is going to be purified. Sahaya karma, even though you are doing good, you are getting the fruit of the action. That's what you have to. You may go to Sokalova and you have to come back. So if you understand the niskama karma, that will remove your attachment. Then eventually you will get the vairagya. Then if you contemplate on the niskama karma, that's what even the Bhagavad Gita, eventually you surrender everything, be a full-time devotee. Then eventually you will merge with the Lord. Thank you.
Sister Aruna, did it answer your question?
Yes, but that's the thing I'm trying to understand. Swami, maybe like everyone is thinking differently, this kala, that kala, and everything. But Swami maybe has now simplified and said, okay, you remember me all the time. You will come to me. That's the Om started with also. So I try to understand why Swamis talk about all these things kind of. Because he started with the Om, Dhanava mantra, you remember last minute, you will attain me kind of. And again, we are after all this reading, all this kala and everything, understanding coming, and Swami is coming and ending with the same message. You remember me all the time without break, you will attain me. So I try to understand why Swami spoke about all these things.
These realities exist. These things exist in the world. So Swami has to mention about them. Yeah. So there are Kala, some people look at the time, Dakshinayana, Uttarayana, and the day when he passes away. And all those things are taken into consideration. So Swami has to mention about all these things. Yes, all these things exist, but you come to me through meditation about mind. Keep your mind on me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I think so, but let others say whatever they feel.
Sairam, Auntie Saku.
Yes, Sairam. Even in Geetha Vahini, he did the same way. He told us He explained to us Sanatana Dharma, everything, and then he simplified. Simply pray on my form, visualize my form, and chant my name. And he made simple. He simplified everything. This is the same method he's doing here because he wants us to know the Sanatana Dharma. What is in Sanatana Dharma? But yet, here I am God, I am telling you. This is simple. You only have to think of me 24/7, chant my name, and meditate on me. That's the beauty of our Lord. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Sister Ananti?
Yeah. I also was on the same part, for Sister Aruna's question. Swami nicely explained all the difficult part in the process, and finally he brought the easiest way. If we don't know all other things, even if Swami says, just remember me, meditate on me, we would ignore. If someone says all the difficult parts, maybe 5 different ways, and finally say, uh, can you try this one? We would immediately take, oh no, this is the most easiest way we can handle. So we will be having more confidence and we will think that, oh, this is the most easiest way. Why we have to go through all other ways? Maybe that sort of maybe tips and techniques Swami has given nicely. Rather than going through all those much more difficult ways, just remember me or meditate on me all the time, whatever you do. Maybe that sort of the techniques even the Lord Krishna or the Swami has used on this one. That I believe Sakwanti nicely explained on that part. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to comment?
Sairamala. So, actually, anything that is hard, one will stay with us for long. So, even if you see the context where Arjuna received the Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna was in the battlefield, where when the whole of that battle and everything was to happen. So, for us to understand the summary or the essence of what Bhagawan has to give us, if we know the whole process and then come to the distilled essence in terms of savoring that and knowing its value will be of far greater impact on us, even as we understand the overall scheme of things. And Anna, based on one of the discussions we had, where I'll just parrot out what you had told earlier, that for a beggar to give up something, if they don't have anything for them to give up, it is not called a big sacrifice. But for a wealthy man to renounce all of that wealth and taking up to the Lord makes more impact. So for us, even as we assimilate all of that knowledge, to then offer it back at Swami's lotus feet and say, Swami, your name is the most powerful, and we will just take that name and think of you constantly, makes more sense rather than straight away in the beginning itself. Swami, and the start of the Vahini, Swami says, just think of me incessantly. I think for us to understand or distill that essence and savor it, we may not take it that seriously. Even as we go through all of these processes, we see how yogis, how great sages had to do intense sadhana to come at all of this wisdom. And then, but the essence of that wisdom ultimately is to think of Swami continuously. So if we understand that whole journey, so offering that and thinking of Swami will have a larger impact. That is my understanding of this. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share anything?
Yes, Sairam, brother. I'd like to point about the beggar and the wealthy person, whatever Sri Sati said. The beggar supposed to think, Swami, Lord gave me the job to realize other people, the difference between them and the beggar person. You have to be satisfied whatever you have. So beggar is, the person is teaching. The beggar person supposed to think, Lord gave me this opportunity. I can walk, I can eat, and maybe Swami wants to teach for other people. I'm an instrument. So everyone's like to think I'm an instrument of Lord's hand. Then they don't have the attachment. Thank you.
So I think, so Auntie, you want to say something? Sure. Ani Auntie.
No.
Yes. So I think, Brother Dasan, I think what Sai Satish was saying is, the beggar should not think that he is detached. You know, then he should be detached to whatever he has, not to the things which he doesn't have. So that's in terms of knowledge also it's the same thing. And we should get the knowledge and then we should say discard it. That is part of the process of sadhana. You acquire knowledge, but that also is give it up. I think that's the point which he was trying to say. But another point, I think, just to echo what Sister Ananthi also said. See, one of the why Swami is doing this is generally in the path of spirituality, we are always doing window shopping. Somebody will say, there is this person teaching some meditation which will very, very good. Then we will drop everything and run after that. Then somebody will say, there's a kriya which you do that, and then if you practice it every day, then you will get something. Then we will run after that. Then somebody will say, this yajna is being conducted, go there, then we will go there. But so Swami has taught us things which we have to follow. But if Swami just straight away says, do this, it will help you, we will think, oh, maybe Swami doesn't know these things. So he is, giving us this. So I think these, just to give us a sense of, to put everything in perspective and say, all this available, but I have come here to help you all who have come to me with the best way suitable for you all. Just follow this with one-pointedness, ekagrata. Otherwise, we are always trying out different things. That is not healthy from a position of sadhana, which is what actually Krishna is also telling Arjuna. If you read the Bhakti Yoga 12th chapter, that's what Krishna says, you think of me all the time. Then, then he said, Krishna said, if that is difficult for you, then you do karma palatyaga, you do nishkama karma, like that. So he gives you other alternatives to not having devotion to me. And that's the way Krishna does it. So which is same technique which Swami also is doing. So there may be other things and other people calling out and say, come, we will take you. Swami says whatever they are going to achieve through that path, which is maybe difficult and prone to many dangers, pitfalls, I am giving it to you. Just follow this. You will reach the same result. So just so that we understand and we'll be able to not be swayed by people who promise other things and stick to our path, stick to our sadhana. This is the way I understand. Thank you, Sai.
Yes, very good. So if Swami didn't say anything, then everybody will think the other side too, because we have two nadis. We born with that, right? Now I'm thinking, because it will think both sides. So we had to know, okay, good, thanks.
Sister, Swami
Nadi and the Pingalam.
Do you know that's a pranayama which Swami has taught, sister? Swami has taught one pranayama for everyone.
Om.
So
Tell Sister Armada loud.
Soham. Yes.
Soham.
Yeah. Soham.
Yeah, that is
God
the
and I are same.
That is the pranayama Swami has taught. And once you do Soham, the next stage is Om.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You come from Dasoham, I am the servant, to Soham, I and you are one. And that you do, that meditation you do all the time, you come to the state of Om.
Sarah, I have a question because you were elaborating on what Sai Satish said, and then you said about acquiring knowledge and also detaching from it. Can you explain on that? Because Jnana Marga, we are yearning for knowledge, and so how does that work? If you explain.
See, unless you have knowledge, you cannot say knowledge of no use. For example, if I don't know a subject of chemistry or physics, I don't have the authority to say chemistry of no use. Okay, because I'm making a statement out of ignorance. So it is like, the sour grapes, type of thing. So the thing is, in life, if you're going to consider, we can say I'm ignorant of chemistry. That's very simple to say. But I should not say, oh, chemistry is useless. So in the case of, like money, a beggar saying money is useless, no use. What does he know? He has never seen the value of money. That is the sense. So the thing is, then the beggar should say, I don't have money, but I don't need it because I have the Lord. That you can say, which what Tyagaraja said, Tyagaraja said, Nidhi Chala Sukhama, Ishvara Sannidhi Chala Sukhama. He says, I am having the Ishvara Sannidhi, which is equal, the presence of the Lord gives me so much joy. I don't need any other joy. Maybe money has joy, but I don't need it because I only am happy. So he didn't say, I am very detached from money, nothing. He says, I have the Lord, that's good enough for me. So I think it is just making a statement. So in this case, if somebody comes and says, you do yoga, you do, kundalini, pranayama, all that, when we don't know, we will look like, we can't even tell the person, I understand what you are talking about, but I am not interested. That is a better way to discuss than say, I don't know anything about it. Then they will say, if you don't know, you come, I will teach you. Okay, then you look like, somebody who doesn't know and who has an opinion about it. See, we cannot have an opinion about anything unless we know something. So, suddenly somebody comes and says, Kundalini is everything. You come, you will do everything. If you say, then that person, you will say, no, I don't need it, it's not needed. Then he will ask, what do you know about Kundalini? And then you will say, I don't know anything. Then I said, how can you dismiss it? Okay, I think for that sake, we need to have enough knowledge to dismiss things.
Okay. Thank you.
Sai Ram.
Yes, Auntie.
Sai Ram. You can have knowledge, but that knowledge should not give you egoistic attitude. That is dangerous. You have to use it for your betterment. That's all. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you.
Anna, just adding to what you are saying, I think the best part to portray that will be Shankaracharya when he is having the discussion with Mandala Mishra and Ubhaya Bharati. And when Ubhaya Bharati then comes and starts asking questions which he does not know, he asks for time. He doesn't say these are useless questions. He asks for time. He goes, and because these are certain questions that belong into the Grihastha thing, he takes another through his Sukshma thing. Sorry, Anna?
Parakaya Pravesham, he enters another body.
Yeah, Parakaya, exactly. He enters another body, he lives that life, then he drops that body, comes back again as Shankaracharya and gives answers to those questions, and then he wins the debate with Ubhaya Bharati and Mandal. He doesn't dismiss it because saying that everything is Brahman, this is useless. So, yeah, that's a good example to show how it needs to be known and then given up and dismissed as trifle in front of the knowledge of the Brahman.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you.
But brother, just we have learned before also, just not enough to it's enough to fix the mind on the Paramatma. That's itself tell you to do the right things, right? So obviously you are following so much Swami's teachings. So Swami is talking about the worldly side of people, how the people will talk, and fixed on me, then follow my teaching kind of interpretation also after the discussion, I'm thinking. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, sister. I'm just reminded, it's a personal story. I don't know if the time is up. See, it's 4:26. I'll do it quickly. Sorry about it. See, the thing is, sometimes people from other religion approach you. So I remember when I was in the Middle East, there was a colleague of mine who was doing a Master of Divinity course. He's a Christian, and he used to talk to me about Christianity, And fortunately for me, I had a Bible with me also. So once he asked me some questions, and I said I'm Hindu. He said, "But do you know in the Bible it says this? Have you ever read the Bible?" He asked me, and I said, "Yes, I have read bits and pieces here and there." Then he used to have discussions with me on Bible, and because he couldn't convince me, he asked me to come to one of their gatherings where his teacher was coming and giving a talk. So that person came, and he was trying to convince me about what is said in the Bible, and this is what Jesus says. So we started having a discussion, and it became a small debate. Then he said, "Okay, let's stop this," and he went away. And then he called my colleague and told, "Never again invite this fellow here, because he will just completely remove all your faith in Jesus." And after that, they left me alone. But even though I was not invited for any of those discussions, that gentleman used to still discuss with me. I will say, "Why are you discussing? I may spoil your." He says, "No, I want to get another view perspective." But the thing is, sometimes when they know that you know something, then people know that, okay, this guy, they will leave you alone also to some extent. Because whatever I shared was what Swami has told about the Bible and what Jesus' message was. And that it was just shook them too much, because that's not their form of interpretation. So sometimes it's good to know in this world what else is there, and so that we can have greater faith in what Swami is teaching. So to that extent, we can have sufficient knowledge so that we can use it to increase our belief, our conviction in what Swami has taught, and through that our sadhana will become more firm. Our faith will become firmer, and that will help our sadhana. And Swami is the best. He is the one who teaches us everything, and then he says, "This is Sanatana Dharma. Listen to me now."
Yeah.
And that's the greatest boon he has given for us. And he brings us all together and share and discuss and study. Saira. So if there is no other question, maybe we'll close the session today at 4:30. And we will come back next week to continue from where we left off. I hope it's okay with all of you.
I think, Arun, you're not going to be there next week, no?
No, I will be here next week. And
good.
but the following weekend, I will not be here.
Following weekend, you're not there.
Yeah. Saira.
Right.
Sairam, everyone. We'll close with Samasta Lokan Shanti. Om Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam, everyone.
Thank you, Sairam.
Happy Father's Day, brother.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Hi, Ram.